Clash of Clans podcast, episode 105. And welcome back to the Clash of Clans podcast, the Clash of Clans for the fans in the stands. Is Scotty827 here with Sasquatch.
Hello.
The ever beautiful Sasquatch. His
Of course.
locks of golden hair.
I wish.
Somebody else, the player.
How we doing?
I always just have to say the player because, don't want people to think I'm rude. And Cerberus.
Hey.
Welcome to the podcast. It is Cerberus, right?
Yeah, Cerberus.
Okay.
You got it right?
It seems like it would be just fine. I, however, am sometimes an idiot, and let me just apologize to Bama right now, our co-leader. I called him Bama all through the last podcast, and a couple people said, "Hey, Scotty, it's Bama." So,
Alabama.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, apology, Bama. I've been practicing it in my head every time I see his name all week, and it's still ingrained in there a little bit different. So, Sasquatch professional TH9 extraordinaire. Somebody else, Town Hall 11. You moving up on Max there, SE, since the last time?
I got another king level, so my king's now at level 39, so
Yeah,
one level to go, and moving on up, slow and steady.
One day. And so I thought we'd introduce Cerberus and kind of talk about your history with the game. There's a lot to get to this week. I got a big list in front of me. And so, Cerberus, where are you at in the game? When did you start?
I'm sort of a, I guess, mid-level Town Hall 10. My heroes have not arrived yet, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're still higher than mine.
Well,
Not hard to do.
Yeah. But really, my son tried to get me into the game for a while, for several months, and I said, "No, it looks kind of stupid. I don't want to play that." And finally, I downloaded the game and enjoyed it. Joined the clan. He made me leader there. I found this podcast and started listening. Wanted to improve what I was doing, and eventually made my way here. So, but when I arrived, my heroes at TH10 were 16, 20. So,
you were a little rushed.
Yeah. I was rushed, but at that point in the game,
slightly eager. That's all.
Yeah. Well, at that point in the game, the name of the game was to 2-star Town Hall 10s. So I could do that as a Town Hall 9. So I didn't understand why I would need to wait.
You had to go up and
get the better troops and all that stuff. So
when did you decide to go up? Was there something that kind of pushed you over, or like something you hit?
Not really. I just needed one in the clan we were in. We needed somebody else with higher troops. So I just said I'm going to go ahead and go up. If I can already do what I need to do on a 10, then I'm good to go. But obviously the game has changed because now you're expected to 3-star a 10. So it's a little different. So I've had to put a lot of work into my heroes, and they're on their way. But
they are.
They're not there yet.
So what'd you do? I think this is something that, because if we see people come in, or if they've got those heroes like yours, what do you do to correct?
I stopped upgrading everything except for the lab and heroes for quite a while, and so basically I felt like I needed to upgrade things until I could take care of what I was seeing as my mirror. If I couldn't take care of my mirror, then I wasn't where I needed to be at. that's kind of the way that that I started trying to play the game.
All right.
And the new troop levels have kind of changed some things a little bit, but I just felt like I needed to do that, so I pumped money into some walls and things like that, which also were too low. But I'm making my way there, and I've only upgraded point defenses since that's happened.
Are you a big farmer?
Yeah. I basically I just go after elixir and DE. I'm not really concerned too much with gold, because I don't really need it very much. So I'm just going after elixir to make sure I can keep the lab going, and DE to make sure the heroes are still moving, and then letting things sort of catch up to where they need to be.
And how often are you putting your hero down? I mean, how fast is your DE coming in? Is it?
Well, I was getting 2 levels a week for a while.
Whew.
Yeah, it's not happening anymore. As they go up, obviously, what is it, from 31 to 40 is the same.
Yeah. Same amount of DE as 1 through 30.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure exactly the number, but it's slowed down a lot. But I put my down just before this last war, and I'll put it down again in a few days. So now I'm back to probably about once a week. What it's looking like.
Well, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good on my terms, that's for sure.
I'm sure it'll slow down some more as they get closer to 40, because it's really tough to max out, and it depends on where you farm, So because I'm basically right at the edge of Titan 3. I bounce back and forth Titan 3 to Champion 1. There's a lot of DE there, but the problem is, you're going to lose it on defense. And then take the max amount,
If you're down lower, are you finding you're getting hit? It's hard?
No. I don't. I think if you go down lower, there's times where I dropped cups probably about a month ago, and I went a full day without even getting hit. And then, when I was hit, they weren't even getting to the DE at all. But you don't find those dead TH11s or dead 10s. Earlier today I found 7K DE in a raid. So, and yesterday like 6K and a 5K plus the bonus.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, and afterwards I talked to people about farming and kind of where I should be, if I should drop or and everybody's kind of has their own theory
it's sort of depending upon what you're wanting to do. If I was just going after loot and I didn't care about anything else, I would probably drop. But because I want to be better in war, I need to use better troops, and to use better troops I kind of need the bonus. So queen walking every raid. I don't know that I've made an army that didn't include at least 4 healers, for 6 months. It's just been queen walk. Even if I'm not using really high dollar troops, I'm still queen walking somewhere in there, just to get used to how, when I'm gonna need to drop rage, when I need to use the ability, killing CC troops, all that stuff.
That's something I didn't think about. Because my problem has been this week, and I want to see what SE thinks about that. But this week, like where you train up your army, and that's when everybody posts the fair friendly challenge. And so if I wasn't farming with the higher troops, I didn't think about that. I would probably miss out on a lot of practice. with
Yeah,
the
'cause,
friendly challenges.
An army of goblins doesn't really work out too terribly well in a friendly challenge. It gets you so
True.
far, but
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are using like raging gobs to go and get DE, which seems to work pretty well. But it doesn't help you. I don't think for anything else you're going to do.
yeah,
I've yet to see that in a big war where people are raging gobs to get the TH.
Except for, well, I suppose
Ask and you shall
Sasquatch's
receive.
TH,
Well,
or his CC, I mean, in this last war.
yeah.
Those gobs were mean.
Well,
Best way to do it.
Yeah, that new level, they're beasts. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, they're underrated, but
Yeah.
they're very specific. But no, I definitely like the slightly slower build times of a more real army, and like Serb said, just the ability to kind of practice and get used to your army. So it's not like if something goes wrong, things go wrong in your farming raids all the time, and so being able to know how to recoup and how to recover and what tweaks you need to make and things like that, it starts becoming a little bit more second nature because you're using those troops all the time.
Yeah. Even though sometimes that's true, you still forget during war for some reason. Or
Oh, God.
Yeah, those poisons never want to drop in war.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah,
like,
everybody
scroll to
comes
the
back in
right.
the chat and
You
says, "I'm
got
sorry,
poisons.
my poison wouldn't drop." I don't know.
I still get so nervous. I still get so nervous. Like today when I was attacking, I was nervous. Like,
Yeah.
you're going.
Today's war definitely had my nerves going. It was
tight.
It was a tight, epic battle. So there was some good stuff.
Sasquatch,
Yes.
you have the weirdest attacks in all the good ways. I mean, I was telling Serb last night, I think it was, or the night before, about how crazy some of your attacks that I've seen. Do you do anything different with the friendly challenges, or do you just?
I try not to.
What do you cook up? Like, what do you have? Like, just sitting around all day? Do you have the same?
Sitting around all day is my split walk. Like I was telling you on the last podcast, where I've got the bowlers in the CC, 8 healers, was it 5 wizards, 4 wall breakers, 5 valks, 7 hogs, and that's kind of what I do. I roll the queen out one side and then roll the bowlers out the other side, so they kind of, I don't know, they each work in separate directions, and then I send the king with the valks up the middle after the queen takes out the clan castle troops on the other side.
I mean, it was beautiful. It's almost like, you see people attacking ring bases where you've got to go in there and get the center after, things are cleared around the edge. It was pretty.
Yeah, it's nice because the bowlers clean up so much trash. They're getting 2 buildings usually at the same time, almost the whole way around. And I try to send them on the trash side so they get more value for them. And then usually with these new anti-3 bases nowadays, there's just not much in the middle. Like once you clear the sides out, there's nothing in the middle. There might be an expo or, some giant bombs, but, a king and some valks can handle that stuff. So that's where I wind up using my heals and my jumps is right in there.
I did bring Brittany back this week. The bitch is back. And I did the bowlers in the CC. Giants, my giants are still not like up to, TH9 level. Oh God. But I did a 3-star on a base, and that was the first time with Brittany using bowlers, but I basically did the same principles as what I do out on 11. And the second one didn't go so great, but I still pulled out a 2, I think.
Yeah, a nice percentage 2 on the second one with her, but yeah, a nice fresh 3-star on your first hit with her.
It was crazy.
Stuff. Yeah.
I was like, I guess I never, with the 9, like those bowlers really in that CC, they just kind of changed the playing field. I feel like that's a little bit with hero levels, like the troops. I don't know. I just keep getting that feeling that the troops have helped.
Become more powerful. Yeah, like, because you wouldn't have been able to do that with those lower heroes.
No, level 5 and I think a 10 king.
Right.
But I relies a little bit more on the troops.
There's just a variety of what you can do nowadays. It's not just, roll a golem out there and then throw the hogs in behind it, and that's the way it's going to be. It's always something different nowadays.
Well, what do you look at when you're looking at a base, Sass? I mean, because you kind of come in a lot of times towards the end.
Yeah.
And like in the morning, and you see what needs to be done. What are you looking for?
I'm looking at which way I can path my queen to take out the heroes in the clan castle. And that's really what I want the queen to do. Even if it takes, 2 poisons, 2 rages, and her queen ability, I think that's the biggest part for her, is I need her to take out all that stuff. Because that's huge for me. And if I can keep her up the entire raid, then I've got a really, really good chance of 3-starring. So that's kind of what I look at.
So are you going? I mean, is there a particular style of base? I'm wondering, like.
No, I'll throw my crazy shit on anything. I'll even throw it on a 10 or an 11 if I have to.
Do you remember that one raid? Or that one war attack? I can't remember who it was we were facing. I was telling Serb this because about your crazy attack. Remember, it was like this weird base with the walls all. I want to say there was like a big mass down in the one corner, and then there was, walls in the middle, and then there was another, like almost rectangular wall up top, and he used a bunch of jumps and just.
Yeah, it was the original 5 golem 4 jump sort of deal before any of that was even a thing. It was in one of the FPC wars that we had a long time ago with like a lot of the podcast people.
Didn't they call it Avalanche now or something like that?
I'm not sure what they call it. I wound up using 4 quakes, 3 jumps, 5 golems, and some other stuff. And I wound up 3-starring the base. Fresh hit.
It was crazy, too.
It was fun.
It was just like, how did he...
Yeah, it's just like everyone's like, what in the hell is he doing with all those jumps with just those golems? This makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that was like a big wide open base practically.
But with the new differences in the way that people are designing bases, I think some of those attacks still be effective, because you're trying to build it to stop the new meta, whatever that is, and it opens it up back to, to other things, like people not thinking about air as much anymore, but so ignoring the air defenses or whatever, so it seems to me that some of that stuff may still have a place,
Yeah, actually Warthog and Ike the Great and I were all talking this afternoon about that, and we're trying to figure out this base we were looking at for Ike, and he was like, well, how do I do the HGHB attack on this? He's like, that's what I got cooked up, that's what I want to use. And we're looking at it, and there's just so many defenses on the outside that the Giants will never go inside. Then there's like 3 hidden Tessels on the outside. There was no way he was going to get them to go in, without losing half of his army. So, I know he went in with something different. I think he went in more Valk heavy, but I said something like, it's time to just go back to the old stone go-ho. Throw 3 golems out there and shove the kill squad in and
just kind of back to basics.
Yeah, back to basics again, because that's the meta that's going to come back once these bases finally catch up to the bowlers and the miners. So.
Well, and that's what we were talking about too. When we were talking about your attacks, about looking at for what the base calls for, instead of the attack.
Now, if I can find a nice base, or I can throw out a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and roll 4 golems out there and just blast through the middle of it, I'll do that, because it's a fun attack to do.
I miss the 5 golem. I've seen it like in the wild, somebody come in and do it on my base, and you have kind of like I have those dead zones, and the thing just it I was like, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't beat anything but the basic. You just kind of guard.
Almost every time in the wild, I just get hit by bowlers and valves now. It was just valves. Now it's splitters with a few valves.
I'm wondering if I should add a few more Velks into my farming comp. I'm running the bowlers, but that's my war comp.
It's a lot of DE, Scotty.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Got to get those miners up, then you can just farm with the miners and get yourself some DE
I
savings.
did. My miner started last night.
Nice.
I stayed up late.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, my war loot is filled up. I missed probably 1 million out of it from the last war. Because I was going to collect it before the end and I forgot. But I knew I was going to have to farm and I was pretty low. So I was like, oh, hold on to 3.6 million. Or, because then it's up for grabs and it get hit so hard. So last night I knew I needed about 1 million and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I finally got close and I hit collect. And then I thought, shit, I'm not going to have enough to brew an army. And I don't know if I can save up that much because war's tomorrow. So I'm like, well, let me just brew one more out of this. And then I'll go in and hit for as much as I can. And I came out and then I trained my next army. And I think I had about 2.5 or 200,000 or somewhere in there. And it made it through. So, but miner's going to max.
Yeah, that's the good thing of being that high up, though, because if you just win, I mean, you're going to get, 250K?
Yeah.
Of elixir. So.
Well, those spells cost a lot, too.
True.
When you add them up, I was like, when I realized after the last podcast how much my army costs. And
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't have to worry about elixir for the next 13 days and 3 hours till my miners are done. So I can experiment. I probably just throw in some more giants instead of so many bowlers. I was thinking throw those in. But then I'm going to miss out on the practice. See,
Well,
I've been having fun with that.
Ricky practice. Bobby with his boulder attacks, he likes I think around 15 or so giants or to tank out in front, maybe just 12 or something like that, just to be able to get out in front of all the boulders because they pop those giant bombs, which are a pain in the butt for a lot of boulders because those things will end a boulder raid almost as fast as it'll end a hog raid.
Yeah, well, that tome, I had to pay attention to that in this war because that base Serb hit, and we should probably introduce the war because in a minute and go, yeah. But that was the base Serb hit, and then I went in on it, and because we were workshopping it, and I was like, if there's any base that I'd be good at, it's because we spent so much time on it. But there was a double bomb in there, and I'm just like, if I hit that tome just right, otherwise it could have been.
Yeah, they're going like hogs are,
Yeah.
If not, yeah.
It's super low, and then you just a couple more hits, and you needed it. But, so let's talk about the war today, because it was probably one of the most fun wars in recent memory. I mean, the 50-50 was awesome, and we had a really good time. But for our matchup and how close it was, and just for a straight up war, I thought it was a blast. I was actually tired tonight. I mean, glued to the end.
I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was what we did was
it's great,
Serb put together the potluck. And you want to kind of talk about what a potluck is?
Yeah, sure. Basically, a group of fair play clans coming together, and it's organized based off of town hall level instead of necessarily like base weight, the way you normally have to do in a ranged war. And so it's much easier for everybody to hit the button at the same time and know you're going to match somebody else where it's going to be a good war, and the past few have been like between 60 and 70 clans hitting the button at the same time. And so that's what we did. We were running 4 TH11s, 12 10s, and 14 9s. The cruiser, that's called the cruiser. I think it used to be heavy, and now heavy is a lot more.
Oh, they had a name for the base weight or the base comp?
Yeah, it's called cruiser.
Cruiser class. Okay.
Cruiser. Yeah.
So it's organized by different.
It's organized by TH level mainly. But,
okay.
I mean, but obviously, if your weight, that you're putting forward is closer to one versus the other, you're more likely going to match that clan than you will another. So I was kind of looking at that also, but.
And then the rules like no 0.5s, right?
Yeah, well, you could run 0.5s, but you weren't supposed to run them as the lower town hall. So if you had, you can't run a 9.5 as a 9. You had to run a 9.5 as a 10, etc. Whichever 0.5 it was. That was part of the rules.
What is the 9.5 these days? Is it with the Expo? Because I know the 10.5s is the Infernos, or if you don't put the Infernos down, right? Mostly.
That's the 9.5.
That's the 9.5.
Yeah. When a TH9 goes to 10 and they don't drop their Infernos for the first little bit, most people refer to that as the 9.5.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I misunderstood last night because that's the way I thought it. And then I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. I thought the 0.5 was okay.
And so like a 10.5 would be a Town Hall 10 that went to 11 but hasn't dropped his Eagle yet.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was just got confused in words.
Like SE used to run, but it was, of course, his base was a lot different. What do you call it? 9.11 or something?
Yeah, 911.
911, yeah.
What a good number.
9.11.
Right?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh no, don't put me in a mold. I break them all.
You make
don't
the mold, damn it.
What?
Yeah, it really, it really didn't fit any of the categories, because you were two town hall levels behind on the defenses that were down. So,
yeah,
you're redefining the game.
That's right.
My TH6 is down the same path, so we'll get there again someday.
So, are you going down the same path with that account?
Well, I got so close to at least maxing everything down that road, but needed something more normalized for the clan. So now that I can work on it again, I'll just work on building up the max TH9, and then I'll go Catawampus again.
Just offense.
Yep. Yeah. I'll go all sorts of crazy, but that'll be a long time because
it's a while.
9 is a long, long time.
Yeah. I mean, 3 years for almost. No, how long?
I don't even know how long it's been.
From the Stone Age. He had a hand crank on his tablet back in the day just to give it power.
Wow.
We'll break out the 3GS. Just start it on.
It's only by the changing rules that I ended up probably as 11. I mean, I should be, there was like, I had pretty much maxed on research, but every like the updates and things that kept coming, it was like I wanted the new thing, and I was close to that. But going back through the game, I would play it different for sure.
Your thought was always, once my elixir stuff is done in the research, I'm moving up.
Yep,
that's what I did. I'm like, I'm not putting my elixir in walls. I have stuff to research. Let's go to the next town hall level.
I still think that's not. I still think I'd play it that way, but because I've always been doing that, but I'm still researching.
Yeah. See, for me this time around, when I become a TH9 or when I become a max TH9, I still won't have level 1 golems and level 1 hogs and other things because people told me that they weren't worth anything. This time I know better, so those will get upgraded on the way. So
That's a good idea.
yeah.
A lot of people haven't upgraded their P.E.K.K.A.s. And I'm
Slackers.
What she said.
I think that's gonna. Somebody we talked about it. Not getting a P.E.K.K.A. level in the update, but I just have a feeling now over the. I don't know, just in the last since talking about it, I should say, and me using the P.E.K.K.A.s out in the wild and stuff all the time. I just think that's I really like that troop now. I can't believe I'd ever have said that.
I can't believe it either. But just as like a funneling troop, not as part of the main attack. Yeah.
Well, they're a good tanky troop as well as also dealing with heroes. So if you get them to go in with the kill squad, and if there was any doubt that you're going to kill the queen or the king, that P.E.K.K.A. will help make sure that there is no doubt.
Well, also better than the golem against the eagle, maybe.
Yeah.
Just because of the extra damage. And
he's faster. He's popping off the bombs a lot of times. Sometimes he will, really last the whole raid, or there'll be 2 left over because I use the 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, 2 healers on each one, depending on, I guess, what the raid is. But ideally, that for the funnel, one on both sides with wizards to create that bigger, because that bowler funnel is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it just, I know I'm going to get that funnel much better instead of relying on the wizards are extra, I should say. Like when I put them in, they're to do the extra work to get in there a little bit farther, but I know that the P.E.K.K.A.s are going to take and clear the path so that I know I'm going to be able to go in. So it's.
So did you invent that attack, or did you see that somewhere?
No, I saw the attack from when Rudax did it. It was the 2 golem with 2 healers. And then I just didn't want to spend that in the wild. So I was like, let me try the P.E.K.K.A.s on it. And it just worked, right off the bat. So instead of the P.E.K.K.A.s just tanking at the wall, I suddenly have these, 2 P.E.K.K.A.s outside doing the work that a golem and a couple whizzes would do. And hopefully the golems would go in and tank, but a lot of times those if you drop the P.E.K.K.A.s just a little bit in, they'll path right towards that center pretty well without much work. But if you put a couple wizards on the other side, you can steer them pretty easy
because they're so slow.
Yeah. But the difference though is the damage they do when they do hit. So they're not going to bang on the wall for a minute and a half of the raid. They're going to get through the wall in 2 hits.
Yeah, when they get stuck, they keep going.
Yeah.
And then you could, take out a hero with them, or it just works for me. And so that's something I think maybe if I threw some Velks in with it could be, maybe that'll, be the next, maybe I could use that more a little bit, but
the next evolution.
Yeah. Cutting those. So I learned a lot on this potluck. We can get back to the base, the potluck, what it is, and kind of get into specifics. But it's been a big learning curve this week. So there's different classes. How do people join? Is it something if you're listening, is it you can just go get in, or is it like a pretty?
Yeah. If you're listening and you want to get in on the potluck, you can. Basically, if you Google Clash of Clans potluck, it's going to come up. In some of the first results. You pretty much you either need to have the GroupMe app where you can find the info about it, or it may just be able to. You can find the Google Doc information about it, and because everything is there on Google Docs, and it's updated, as new dates come available, and you can RSVP your clan to participate in it. They encourage that, but you don't necessarily have to spin at the same time. But there you can find out what the different weight classes are, all the specifics about it, and when to hit the button. And there's even a timer that you can go to so that you're hitting the button at the right time, in case there's some confusion about what time zone you're in and all that. But yeah, you can find it if you search for Clash of Clans potluck. You're going to find the information that you need to get involved.
Yeah,
And there's a light clan. There's a light category there. So if you don't have Town Hall 10s and 11s to compete in the other categories, there's one that has there's no 10s or 11s in it. So if you're a lower level clan, you're going to find other people who are in your weight category, and it relieves some of the stress of the arranged war because, again, you're basing it mostly off of the Town Hall level.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that it works so well.
Yeah, well, and that's something else about it. They keep stats on it, and usually the only misses that they've had have been the people who are like odd man out. If there's 9 people that sign up in a particular category, they end up at 4 matches and one person who matches something else simply because that's all that was involved. So it seems to be working really well. And the other thing about it is that I think it's almost maybe even more fun to some extent from a normal arranged war because you don't know who you're going to get. There's some mystery in it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and also just the frequency, because are they doing it twice a month, or is it's at least monthly?
Yeah, there's a couple of them a month. Or 3 times sometimes. Like let's see, this month, Friday, June 17th, Wednesday, June 19th, and 4 this month. There's 4 of them. Okay.
Yeah, so it just provides lots of opportunity to just be able to go and say, okay, we need X number TH10s, Y TH9s, and a couple TH11s, and you just spin the button and
right,
you can have a great war.
And it wasn't disruptive either. Because it wasn't so specific, you could bring over, the people who, who wanted to, you weren't just like
it
picking.
gives you a little bit more flexibility in who's available.
Right. And, the other thing about it is too, if you've got a clan that's busy on the weekends that can't do wars on the weekends, every other one is during the week. So there's one during the week and then one on the weekend, one during the week, etc., back and forth, in order to give people an opportunity who, for whatever reason, their schedule permits them to operate during the week versus the weekend. So it's not just a weekend thing. They're trying to make it, available to more clans and more people.
What did you guys think about the weekend or the weekday war?
I prefer it.
I do too. I like it.
People have family and everything else on the weekends that occupies so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah, some aspects are a little bit rougher just because, at least for me, I have work schedules I have to try to work around, or commute times and other such things, which sometimes are easier to work around than others. But
yeah,
it's a nice change of pace, and also just kind of can help people that don't normally always have time. Like Sass was saying, sometimes during the week is easier for some people, and so it lets other people have an opportunity to kind of take charge or help coordinate or help give back to the clan. It's one of the things that was awesome with this war is there's so much communication and so much coordination between team members just to, okay, who's hitting where? Let's get these attacks in by here. Okay, let's plan on going through and doing it in this order. And there was just a lot of things that worked well with the individuals that had the time available to them.
Yeah, and without that, I mean, we won by percent. So without that happening, we could have been hurting.
I think I liked the weekday war, and it reminded me to come back to the teamwork part if I forget.
Yeah.
But I like the weekday war because I think, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I think it helped keep the structure of attacks and timing. Like, we wanted nines to get in there early, and there was some wiggle room, but we knew, with a weekday and work schedules and kind of the normal rhythm of the war, people knew they had to go at certain points, or they couldn't go at this point. And so when it comes to like the weekend, I kind of felt like our real life time constraints might have helped.
Yeah.
With getting in. I don't know. Am I wrong? I mean, that's just kind of.
No, I think it just helped everyone plan just a little bit more, just because it wasn't just like, oh, it's the weekend, I'll figure it out when. It's like, okay, I got these other time commitments, I'm scheduling time for this as well. And
right, so you only have a certain window that you're actually able to hit when you need to hit. So you don't have the option of, oh, well, I can just do it, in the afternoon sometimes. No, it's like I gotta do it at lunch break at work or whatever. That's when I've got to get one of my attacks in,
and we just kind of knew. I mean, for the most part, like it went really good. There was hiccups and things like that, but I don't know. I felt like we moved along pretty smoothly.
Yeah, and it's probably for what you said too, because the weekends is more likely when the unexpected is going to happen. Somebody comes over to visit, or my family has decided to go out of town or whatever. But during the week, it's you have pretty much a normal routine, and like you said, when you're available, when you can hit. It makes sense, for
knew when to catch Sass on his commute,
exactly.
Or
talk out hits or whatever.
Well, and the great thing is a lot of guys from Reloaded came over.
A lot of people from L2 as well.
And L2, and I think some from Relaxed. But what was awesome was there's so much communication going on, and it was it was in the clan chat. A lot of coordinating, but it was great because you guys knew your rhythm. Like, you knew that, for example, you said Aussie Pat, he bombs or I can't remember if you didn't use bombs.
Dips. He'll nuke a 9.
Nuke. And then you said,
Kid Ruckus would hit the 11,
Yep.
Yeah.
He's really good at doing the 2, and Rogie, what a beast.
He's a beast.
I was just like, I hope he takes number 1. SE had a sexy 6-pack today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go alongside the kegger that I call my Buddha, but yeah.
That was like almost yell out loud kind of. I was watching, just put a 3 on number 4, which was a Town Hall 11.
Yeah. With minors.
What did you funnel with on the top? You use Queen Walk, right?
I used a couple, I think, minors to help either build the funnel a little bit, and just went into a Queen Walk break in with a CC of Valks and some Barbs and the King. And from there, I just kind of sent in the minors, because I kind of used the Queen Walk and the CC troops and that main push to help kind of narrow down the base. Then I send the miners with the Warden behind them to kind of almost going parallel to just kind of walk down that narrower side of the base just to just help gut the rest of it.
This was in like the last 2 hours of war, I think, right about
Yeah.
the 2 hour mark. So we were getting down to it at that point, and it was like every start counted. Every attack. A couple of the, I think, 10s who we were going to have go up maybe on an 11. We basically just kind of ran out of attacks, where we just needed to do it, and it was like right at the right time. It was great.
Yeah, there was a couple bases that were just giving us these problems in general, and that kind of caused us to have to reorganize where some of our people were going.
Yeah, they had some good bases up,
Yeah, what was with that base? It just seem like sometimes
It just wouldn't die.
there's a base. Sometimes there's a base.
21 and 24. Those two wouldn't die. They wouldn't even die to Town Hall 10s.
Yeah. Like
Even the
Max
nukes that
Hero.
came down were not nukes. They were more like just grenades. Didn't quite get
Well,
it.
it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
it's a different mindset, hitting that kind of a base.
Yeah.
I always had problems.
You still have problems with Town Hall 8s.
I know I do.
It's okay.
One day I'm gonna get there.
Hey, don't underestimate those 8s.
That's right.
They're badass.
They're wiry.
But it's hard when you're used to going against a certain amount of power, and you would think it would just be the flip of a switch. But I mean,
Well, it's like it happens to me every time I go against a 10 because I'm so used to hitting 11s that I'm trying to use restraint in my initial funnel with how many troops I drop because I don't want to prematurely trigger the eagle. But then all of a sudden I realize I'm hitting a 10. I don't have that same cap, so I can go faster. I can drop more troops and not worry about the eagle going off because, well, a 10 doesn't have an eagle. So, yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things that when you start hitting bases that you don't normally always either hit when you're farming or in war.
well, and these base
army compositions just don't work the same way.
Right.
and these base designs are just
different.
Totally off the wall. Yep.
Yeah. Well, because you think okay, if I can 3-star a 10 with this army, surely if I hit a 9, it's gone. But it just doesn't work the same. Spells need to be different, and it just doesn't work.
I'd always try something different too. I'm just glad I don't. Well, I went in on a 9, I think 2 wars ago, and I was really nervous I wasn't gonna pull it out.
As an 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always a worry.
I wouldn't put it past
one
me.
of those things of
Yeah.
people are like, oh yeah, a nuke. Oh, I'm just gonna blow this thing away. It's like, yeah, but then you start underestimating stuff, and things can still go sideways. And
Yeah.
yes,
The CCs are a big thing.
Yeah,
Well, that's just it. You don't want to fail against a 9 if you're an 11. But somebody has done it somewhere. So it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Well,
still have to have it.
If you're having to do that too, it's probably because there's more pressure on you, to make it happen.
Right.
Which is going to change something about the way that you're thinking.
And we see it in wars against us where people they go in and then they hit pretty low and have screwed up. Which is, I mean, it's nice for us, I guess, but it was great because we knew everything that was happening, that we could adjust to that stuff, which was really good. We came down to the final score was 83-83, and it kind of goes back to what you're saying. Like every attack counts, every percentage. Like, because we won on percent. What I thought was interesting about it, I looked at it right after the war, and it said, I I'm in the wrong screen. It was we had the exact same stats except for percentage. So we had the same number of 3 stars. Let's see here. View results.
Have you said who we even faced?
No, Dark Avengers.
Yeah, major props to Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic war. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was.
right in the last few hours of wars, there was a number of lead changes. Like, I know when I checked in the morning, we had a slight lead, and then they came back and then took the lead, and then we were able to take it back a little bit, and then...
And they tied it at the buzzer.
Yeah, a buzzer beater to tie it back up, and then I'm like, I think we have it on percentage. They're really screwing me over with doing math right now. I hope we have the percentage.
Well, I was in the attack, and I came out, and it says war is over. And I was like... Did we win? I know we tied. And then I had to hit the screen. And it was like, oh my God. But we had 23 3 stars, 7 2 stars, 0 1 star, 0 0 stars. 1.38 average star per attack, both same. We just had 94.2% destruction. They had 92.7. Average attack duration, 229, 225.
Yeah,
so,
it's really close.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was an awesome battle. Those guys did an amazing job.
Thank God Cloud9 showed up.
Yeah, he has on her team.
It's like, I swear there's probably a few people on the Dark Avenger side that either are having a little aneurysm or a slight heart attack or something going on. It's like, they probably had to track him down in real life saying, here's your tablet, attack.
Yeah, I mean, because we're looking is like, okay, he has no troops made. It's like an hour left, no attacks yet. And he comes in clutch, and ties it up. But
yeah, I think he got both of his attacks in within the last 5 minutes of war.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Unless that was planned.
And we were starting to think, well, he can't get both of them in. And then he goes in, and then somebody says, oh, you can push it until the clock runs out.
Yeah. As long as you start it before the war ends, you can finish the attack.
Yeah, that was a SAS special back in the day.
That's right. I've done that a few times.
Yeah, single digits left on the clock, and all of a sudden SAS was like, yep, I'll go in. Thanks.
Yep, I'm here. Okay.
I don't know how many times I pushed the button at 10 seconds or less.
Wow.
What was 23 seconds left, and I'm going, he's not going to do it. He's not going to attack. I'm like, yes, maybe he got mad and after his first attack or something, and I'm just sitting there counting down, and because it was a nail biter, up to the right to the end, and there he goes, and he goes in, and I was hoping after, because his first attack he only did a 2 out of 3 star and didn't add one. I thought maybe. Obviously maybe he's not scouted, but went in and hit you with bowlers, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
And
he had it with 10 seconds to spare, I think, is on the clock, basically.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, no, he's not gonna. And I had just said about another attack, I'm like, fail, and then he got it. So I'm like, I'm not saying.
It was the 4th hit, though. By the way.
Nice 4 defenses.
Yeah.
How many did you have, SE? You had a bunch.
SE had 3.
Yeah, it's like
3
I had a couple of
attacks.
nice big defenses, and
like no stars.
It's like we were just talking about earlier. It's like, okay, the first hit came in, I think, was like a Valk attack, and that didn't work. And then the second person changed it up because half my expos were set to ground, and so they came in with the drag attack, but they had a little bit of a spell mishap, and the wrong thing got zapped. And then the third guy came in and clutched it out and got me cleared and went on from there. But yeah, it was nice to wake up and actually see a defense. I'm like, I haven't seen a defense in, well, out in the wild for ever and a day, mostly because half my stuff is upgrading. But
yeah, I think I had a 1 star in mine right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single attack, and it kept switching throughout. What'd you do this morning, Sass? You hit in the morning, I think, right?
I did hit in the morning, and that was when I got my 3-star, and then I hit. I hit a couple hours later, and I got a 98% 2-star.
Yeah, I think that was like on one of the problem bases, wasn't it?
It was. It was 28, I think. I think it took a 10 to come down and nuke it after I did it. So
holy shit, that sucks.
Yep. It's a good feeling, you know. You still have 3 bowlers left standing, a couple Valks. I don't know if there was a hog left or not, but King's still up, Queen's still up, Wizards everywhere. Yep.
Just ran out of time?
Yeah, I probably needed, 3 more seconds, something like that. I had an air defense that was in one of those isolated compartments, and I was like 3/4 of the way done with an army camp with Wizards on the way, so.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Those 97%. We want the 30 seconds back for Town Hall 9. No.
Then my queen walk could be like 2.5 minutes long.
Still only use the 30 seconds. Huh?
The queen's stroll.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, there's definitely some crazy attacks that this war I thought were done, and somehow just managed to pull it out. I remember we were watching one of them, and like there's a CC dragon and a baby dragon that both managed to survive the kill squad with like a sliver of health.
Yeah, it was
And
one of the
they were
last bases.
Yeah, and they were chasing around a bunch of Valks and a bunch of Hogs, which just they would never stand still long enough, and they actually managed to like 3-star the base. And I'm like, I swore that would have been done with those 2 troops still standing.
And it was great. I'm sitting there going, no, it's not going to be. Maybe it's going to be time. And I'm like, they can't last that long.
And they made it the whole raid.
Yeah, there's some great attacks on both sides.
And it wasn't like all the same thing every time either. It was, like you said, it was changed up. There were some different kinds of attacks going on.
Yeah, I think Warthog, the name of his, always brought me a little bit of joy. At least I think it was Warthog with his, stoned hobo.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, stoned hobo.
So similar to like the HCHB, but just kind of forgetting about all the giants and just doing like stoned with some bowlers and your kill squad behind, and the surgical hogs after the fact to slowly and methodically pick off things as those golems are tanking stuff. He had a really nice attack in the war.
I think it was Dad said on GroupMe. I think he said, I was a stone hobo in college for a week.
Yeah, like it's a great name.
That was awesome. I'm just looking down So this week I learned a lot. Rogi, is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I pronounce it.
Rogi.
I don't know if it's correct. He's an Aussie.
Rogi or Raji?
Yeah, he's an Aussie. So however an Aussie would say it, that's
Rogue. I'm not even gonna do it.
Yeah, can't do it. Yeah,
I have to start with the shrimp on the Barbie and then kind of work it up.
Gotta work into it.
Yeah,
get into character.
I was corrected about that from him too. He said they have prawns; they don't even have shrimp. So,
well, damn it.
Yeah,
damn them being so close to the water.
Yeah.
It's like they're on an island or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was doing a lot of it was during the week. He was doing friendly challenges. The base I talked about last episode where I had the 7 defenses. He went in and 3-starred it. I think it was his first time hitting it. And I told Serb, I'm like, if I wouldn't have seen it for myself, I would have thought he was a modder. Because in some of these friendly challenges, he was just going in and smashing.
He just wrecks it, man. He's good.
Yeah. And he goes in and then he was talking about it, and he's like, Yeah, I figured out with the ring bases or whatever about with the queen, the queen and the way to funnel it. And as he was talking, and as I was like looking at the attack, it really occurred to me like those bowlers, I don't have to worry. My goal might not necessarily be putting them through the center like I did with, Velks. And I think looking at it the last few days and doing a bunch of friendly challenges, trying to get ready for a couple of these attacks. And, I just kind of saw the bowler pathing a little bit different and realized where I'm getting like hung up, because a lot of times they are not, they want to go to the outside, and he kind of let them just go to the outside and did it that way instead of trying to get them right through the middle, which, was pretty much my tactic.
Yeah. I think that's sort of the problem we were talking about earlier. If you're hitting a different, it's a different mindset to hit a different kind of base. So even a 10 going down and hitting a 9, you're looking around like, where's the core with the Infernos? It's not there, or whatever. That you have to think about it differently. And he was able to do that with those weapons, with that ring base.
Yeah, because like a lot of times, like with some of the ring bases, as long as you can take out the eagle, then your only concern is just trying to keep your bowlers all together. Because if they stay together under the healers, eventually they'll either walk around the entire base and then get to the core, or they'll just whittle away the core as they walk around the base. But as long as they're not being rained down on and they're all grouped up, you should be good to go in some ring bases. Other ring bases, well, there's differences.
Well, and I kind of practice more on the ones with the what do you call it? The space, like you know where you have like an inferno in the center of a box. It's kind of like a lot of dead space.
Oh, the isolated inferno.
Yeah, the isolated where you want to get the inferno, but usually the bowlers path around the outside. Or you're trying to get it to the inferno, and I just kind of realized I was forcing it too much. And if I kind of went with their flow a little bit more, they probably would get in. And I started having more success with it. But then a couple times, I had to go through, I figured the funnel is actually better, and I went through the core and got them. But I kind of realized, we were talking about it, that, you're really hurting the bowlers, and you get that many blue cows going in one direction. You almost have to go with what they're doing, instead of like I'd try to bring the jump back, and they just don't take it because they're pathing
instead of just using the walls as the funnel and let them do their thing.
Yeah. Or kind of holding on to that second jump, because we were talking about this, and it did in that base. They did go north. I thought they could go north, and
on 9.
Yeah. And I was like,
exactly.
And I was going to put the one jump, and I'm just going, oh man, this, if they're doing their thing, they have their own mindset. I mean, Serbs attack, they went for an army camp way the hell up.
Yeah, they like almost came out. I mean, they were at the wall and they walked way around to get to an army camp. Like then, 15 bowlers.
Turned back, came back, killed the king, and then instead of joining back with their friends, they headed up north.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts.
Well, and they went that direction whenever you attacked too. Like you said, you had to put the jump there and just went with it. Wherever they want to go, let's go.
Yeah, because otherwise, then I'm sitting there with a jump, and then they might take the stuff they're going after, but then they're beating on this wall.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, it sucks when your bowlers get stuck beating on this wall under an inferno. It's just
they die fast that way.
Yeah. They're not that great.
Yeah, they're not that tanky.
No, what did you say, Scotty? You call them herd troops?
Yeah, herd.
They're herd troops.
You got to herd the blue bowlers, the blue cows. I mean, it's not easy to do, but I guess I've been so used to using Velks and stuff that I don't know. It's the bowler's range is, I mean, because it's so much bigger than the Velks and stuff that it seemed like Velks are easier to steer.
Yeah, and Valks have that extra little like targeting mechanism of when there's two buildings that are touching, they'll run in between those. So you at least know that okay, they'll go over here after they take out these other buildings.
Yeah.
The bowlers, it's just like, yep, I'll just throw at this thing. I'll throw at this thing over here. Depending upon how many hit points they'll have, whether or not these other buildings go down on the bounce, it's a little bit harder to predict where they want to go the next time.
Yeah, those clumps. Yeah, you're right. They kind of steer to. They do steer to those, but I just been using those bowlers so long. I'm gonna throw some more Velks in. Well, okay. So, and we can come back to if you guys think of things. Sass, you've been doing a lot of base building. Essie, you've been doing some. Or you're doing it a lot.
As far as a lot, no. I get one and I try and get it to where it's going to work really well. And then just use that one and then kind of tweak it a little bit whenever it comes time for it.
So how do you start? I mean, what do you...
I usually start with I have an idea, or I have a spot that, somebody else's base, not SE's base, but someone else in a war or something, like somebody's base that has given us a spot that's given us trouble. And you start with one little section. So like a hidden Tesla with a giant bomb set, a double giant bomb set between there and, a Tesla or whatever, but some small focal point, and then I just work out from there. So you start with one thing that you want to have included in your base, and then you keep going from there and see what happens.
You start in the core?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't want, I don't need whatever the core has to offer. It's something else that I really want. So.
Yeah, nowadays with that map move feature where you can actually shuffle the entire thing in different directions, it makes base building a lot more user friendly.
Right.
What?
There's the feature inside of the map where in which you can select everything and move it either northeast, southwest, east.
Yeah, you can adjust the whole thing.
I wish I would have seen that months ago.
Months ago.
Yeah, so if you get close to the end and everything's just off by a square or two, all of a sudden you're in the olden days, it's okay, let me go ahead and start shifting everything, select this row, move it, and all this other type stuff. Now it's just okay, select it all, shift.
Yeah, it's a nice feature.
Yep.
Try it, Scotty.
I am right now. I'm looking at this thing. I'm going, remember, I think this was in the update when there were so many things that came with it.
Yeah, whenever they changed the whole base building map altogether.
And so all the time I see it and I, the bar comes over, but I've never played around. You can view the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can view it you can check for holes easy. Used to if you put a pile of bombs, you couldn't tell if you had a hole or not, but now you can view it as if it's on the war screen.
You can move all the walls with none of the bases, with none of the buildings there.
Yeah.
Wow, I am an idiot.
Pretty handy, Scotty. You should check into it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to say, okay, let's just hide all of my buildings just to see what the wall layout looks like. It's nice just to be able to go and say, okay, at least hide all the traps so I can see what it looks like from the attacker's perspective. It also helps with discussions of, okay, once you build the base, you can hide all the traps, take your screenshot,
Well, look
post
at
it in group.
They even have a photo mode on there.
Yeah, where it removes everything so you can
Everything.
see. Yeah, great.
So,
Well-
Scotty, you could take a picture of it, like a screenshot, and then put it on your phone right here, and then build your base with your iPad.
I am an idiot.
No, it's just called hidden features.
Yeah, that's just sneaky
like-
stuff.
Yeah.
Usually
We
I'm
don't
like
always
hurrying
want
to
to be-
copy a base towards the end of, to the beginning of a war. And I'm just looking, I'm like, wow, man, that move all thing. I could tell you how many times I could have used that just in the last couple weeks.
The whole time it's been here?
Yeah.
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 It's like you'll never forget again.
No, I mean, I'm like, ooh, I could actually start to, and you can see, oh man, that's crazy.
I wish you could rotate, like pick the whole
I do
thing
too.
up whenever you go to move all, and just turn it. Turn it 90 degrees, 180, 270.
Yeah, that would be extremely nice.
Because then you could just take anybody's base, or take your own and just turn it and just watch it. It's
I think it'd
totally
be nice to
different
do
base.
that in the war. We were talking about it last night about if you could at least if you could switch the base up. I think, sir, weren't you saying because of the way you attack?
Yeah,
pref-
exactly. I prefer to attack from a certain side.
Yeah.
Because I'm more comfortable. I almost feel like some bases, I feel like I'm forcing me to be left-handed, attack from a certain side or something.
Yeah. Or like sometimes I'll like to shove my base into like the corner of the screen, so therefore there's not a lot of open space for the people to work with. So they can't try to drop troops outside of range of my defenses. They have to drop it where they'll all just start getting shot. It's like, yeah, there's a number of things which can just
What do you-
kind of throw
What do you
stuff.
think is the least attack side of a base? Or what do you think is the most favorable?
The bottom.
I think
Yeah,
the bottom and the
I
right
always
is
attack
probably
from the
the most
bottom.
favorable. I think the left side is probably the least favored.
I mean, the screen naturally, goes up. So if you work
Yeah.
from the bottom up, that's how everything is oriented. The three-dimensional buildings and everything they have there, everything's going up. So.
Yeah, you're looking at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Yeah,
not
more-
to mention
more natural.
right-handed and left-handed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're dropping on the one side, you're like, if you're right-handed, you're kind of reaching across.
Right.
Maybe I'll jam my stuff down in that corner and.
Yeah, I think like what Sasquatch also said, as far as like once you build something, it's just starting to watch how people are hitting it, which is also one of the benefits of being a little bit higher up in like trophies. For at least you and me, Scotty, is going, okay, people are going to be hitting us with mass valks or mass pullers anyways out in the wild. So if that's what people might run during war, then at least we can start seeing how our bases are going to start to handle, where they're going to attack from, if we want to put our traps in different places, things like that. Because you build the first swag at a base, and then it's that half a dozen to multiple dozen rounds of tweaking what's where, changing the pathing slightly, all those types of things.
Especially giant bombs with these bowlers.
Yeah.
Getting the timing right of where they're either going to hit their tome ability if you're an 11 at the wrong time, so their bowlers are gone. They hit it too early or too late. Adjusting those, because it's over. It really is just over if they hit a double.
One is miners become more prevalent too. It was Rogi's attack, I think 2 wars ago. He had the miners going in. I believe it was Rogi. But he hit one bomb, got the wizard tower, then hit another bomb.
Yeah.
It'd be
Or was
interesting.
that Itachi? And then
No, I think that was boulders with Itachi, but
Yeah,
a
yeah, it was
similar sort of thing.
okay.
Yeah, that was This was a different attack.
But the miners can take a decent beating, but still, if they get a couple bombs worth of damage, as well as those wizard towers, they can go down as a group fairly fast.
Well, your attack, I was blown away by how fast those things are. Because I think you had an air defense or something left at the end, and they shot across that board.
Yeah, they're like walls. Nah, we aren't going to walk around the walls. We're good.
Yeah.
Let's do a beeline over here and super fast.
But I hadn't seen one straight out like that. I don't think. On a straight line path at the end where they're going across like a quarter of the base.
Yeah, most of the time they don't have that sort of a large stretch to kind of beeline across. Normally it's just building to the next adjacent building, but that one they had some good distance to cover.
Would you say they're as fast as a minion? Or were they faster?
I'm gonna have to
fast as a hog, I bet.
You could find out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the movement speed is.
We'll find out real fast. So
it's 24. 24 movement speed 24. That's pretty fast.
That's as fast as a Valk, right? Goblin's 32.
A minion is 32.
Yeah, Valk is 24.
So it's the same as a Valk.
And also a hog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so for like comparison, a bowler is 14, giants are 12.
Low as shit.
Hey, they're just patient and methodical. That's all.
What's a P.E.K.K.A?
12, I think.
16. Take that.
Wow.
Same as the king.
They got a little pep in their step.
Okay,
they got something.
So the miner moves the same speed as the archer queen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't think if the archer queen is moving. I mean, because
she's got a nice range. That's her thing. So she's got a nice little bubble she's walking around in.
Yeah, I never see her booking it too often. She's usually dead at that point of the raid. For me,
hitting
trying
on the
to fuck a wall.
Yeah, hitting the next wall.
Yeah, she's trying to compete for the wall breaker status. She's like, no, that wall doesn't belong here. I'm going to redecorate. And then next thing you know, it's like 4 walls later, and the raid's over, and you're like, that building is 2 steps to the left. Why did you keep shooting the walls?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you'll see like a golem take off and go to the next thing, and you're like, it's a shorter way just to go around this wall. Why aren't you
follow the golem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, lady. Let's move.
How many times have you ever seen the queen shoot a wall? She doesn't have to because she could take 2 more steps and shoot whatever building she's wanting to shoot then anyways.
Man, she wants to shoot from that compartment though.
She's just amazing.
She's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut.
I don't know why. I thought the troops used to bang on the same wall together, but nowadays they don't. They kind of split up again.
Like right next to each other, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they still going for the... There's one attack I watched. I've got like 5 magmas or 4 magmas. Would they benefit by going to the corner of the core? I mean,
any intersecting wall.
Yeah. I normally put my upgraded walls in like the junctions. So any sort of junction that connects more than one compartment, I figure I'll put my upgraded walls on those. So that way, if they do beat through them, they have to work hard to get more than one space open.
But won't they target the wall next to them? Or are they, not for wall breakers, but for like the other troops? I thought like I noticed something different in these attacks where I thought, in the past, they would go to the one next to it. Or I
haven't found
a
good, reasonable explanation for figuring out which wall random troops target.
It might have been like old AI that I had,
There used to be an AI where they used to target those intersecting walls on purpose so they could get into multiple compartments once they broke that wall. So they spent less time trying to fist fuck a wall.
Yeah. Well, that AI is the weirdest to me, I almost think like the old days was way better, just going straight in.
Oh, for wall breakers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're tricky.
Yeah, they've ruined so many raids.
Well, there's nothing
For so
worse
many
too, because you've
people.
got the six troop space, or or you take 3 or 4 wall breakers in, and you're like, you idiots, just ruined everything.
Yeah, you drop one and the compartment's already empty, so then they retarget to go to something else down the row, and that's not where you intended them to go. So then you've already burned the one that's supposed to trigger the bomb.
Well, and I think I brought some in my second attack today, but I was kind of holding on because I had talked to you on TS Sasquatch, and you're like, well, if you got a good funnel, you might not need the wall breakers anyways. And so I was just kind of watching it, and I didn't drop them until I was almost sure, that I didn't need them. And then they went where they were supposed to. I mean, but normally I would have dropped them a little bit earlier, and that could have not been good. I think it still was a little bit. I thought that they might get taken out, but they made it.
They're very squishy. They don't take good shots. That's for sure.
I still think, I think it was Mailman that had said when they get shot, they should throw the bomb.
Yeah, when they die.
Or was that you?
No, it was Mailman. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. Like, whenever they die, they should still explode.
Right. They still have a bomb in their hand. They don't just disappear.
Yeah, throw it.
It's like the balloons do splash damage when they die.
Right.
Like, it only makes sense that, the wall breakers get that same love.
I mean, a golem is a rock, and it explodes somehow. Yeah. And destroys stuff. So.
Hey, who hasn't put a river rock in a fire? Rocks can explode.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah, those.
Well, that's just it. You think the guy carrying the bomb is going to blow something up whenever he's dead, still holding the bomb that he lit.
Yeah, even if it just weakened the wall, it was right next to it, or
maybe
whatever structures.
10%. I mean, they're walking around in your army camp right now with a lit bomb. So how come that thing doesn't go off?
There are no wall breakers walking around my camp.
You don't like wall breakers.
I've got 8 of them, so they're walking around right now.
I would just bring the jump to get things in. I'm just certainty. Like, I know you can get more, but I just kind of look for those bases where I can just jump in with 2 jumps at obviously at the most, but sometimes you can just use that funnel and break through a wall, but
as a 9, you don't have that luxury. You have to learn how to use the wall breakers because you need the jump to get further inside the base. That's usually the way it works.
Well, I'm not going to be playing Brittany very much then.
Probably not.
Yeah, they're just so unpredictable. I think we've been going for a while here. Any other topics, you guys? I'm looking down mine. I think I hit a bunch.
I have no topics, so.
Well, what are we? We're recruiting still. Password L train. Sir, what did you see in the? What's L kind of miss, like, in the war weights? And
I mean, really, we need 9s and 10s, but we really need a lot of high level 9s right now. Kind of short in that area, but 9s and 10s in general.
Yeah, like
just
the
to
max
be able to
9s.
make some matches work, we got to have certain base weights, and there's a couple of areas where we just don't have the exact weights that we need. So, and it's typically on the high end of 9. That's a place that a lot of people get through, like I did.
Yeah. Or move on to 10.
Yeah.
So if you want to come to House of L at request, password. So when you end your request, say L-train or fits, works. And then sometimes we'll just, if we accept you and sometimes like the weights just don't work. We kind of talked about if it's, if you're like in House of L, if you're an 8, you're just not going to get matched you're not going to have a fun time.
It's just not going to be a fair opponent in war.
Yeah,
Your
it's like,
mirror's going to be.
if you just want to be professional scout or things like that, then yeah, it could work. But to actually be able to get practice on bases and get some of that war loot and things like that, an 8 and L is not necessarily a very good fit.
Yeah,
No.
You'll be checking CCs in Town Hall 11. So.
Because it's just we have so much weight up top. L2 is recruiting.
Scotty's now calling me fat. I see it. I hear it.
Well, no, I mean, look at me with my low heroes. I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm almost to my queen going to 32, but
yeah, I'll just say I'm not fat. I'm just big boned.
yeah.
There you
go. L2 is recruiting. I asked kind of what they're looking for because I sent a couple people over there, one who had an 8, and I just want to double check with them, and they said people. This is from Ginger, the leader. I think people that are a good fit for us are people who are active and interested in being in a growing war clan and becoming better players. We're really paying attention to bases not being too rushed, including heroes and all. TH8 and above. And I think that was... And I think they're really looking for those level 4 hogs at TH8. So I haven't seen their matchups lately. How about Reloaded?
I mean, we stay pretty full.
Yeah,
that's the tough part. It's so if you go to Reloaded and you don't get in, it might just simply be because there's just no room.
Yeah, and if you accept somebody, if it's full, it rejects them automatically.
Yeah, I mean, just nothing. I mean, I don't know. You really can't do anything about it, because sometimes we have people who are out doing other wars and they need to get back in. So even if there's a space available, it may simply be that, people are coming back and we need the room.
Yeah, you're just holding the spot for them anyway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, because we do something like this potluck, and there was a lot of people moving around.
Right.
But man, was that fun. I just had a really good time with that war.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to war against people that, are also wanting to be warring and have good bases and good tactics and are bringing their game with them. So, yeah, it was a great war. And I think also along with what Serb was saying, sometimes the timing of the request to join might not always be the ideal time if it's a close, tight war or
if it looks
other
like a
things
tough
going
plan,
on or stuff like that. There might be times where requests aren't always accepted, so try back again.
I just really wish they had if you rejected somebody, you could leave a message.
Yeah, like when you boot somebody, you can actually tell them why. It's like if you reject someone, it'd be nice to be able to have the option of saying, "Sorry, we're too full right now," or
right. I did that to somebody today. I accepted them and then rejected them with a explanation. But you can't always do that,
Yeah, if the thing come in or at the off time. Well, Serb, do you have any shout outs we could?
Man, Reloaded, we've been kicking it. A lot of good players there, like you mentioned earlier. Rogi, especially Ruckus is, holding the fort down at the top end. Warthog, leading the place and getting it done.
I was just thinking as you were saying that, I'm like, God, where's Spaceman when you need him? Because he would have shouted out the entire...
You would have just ran through the
entire
list.
The
roster.
whole list.
Just like Warthog was leading.
Yeah, I will go into the drinking game of how many names can I drop this episode? And here we go.
Yeah, and it was great with everybody in Allen. You can see how you guys work together really well. You know how it was cool to see a team come in to a team. And
knowing
it
the people,
helped.
it helps when you know capabilities and what people are used to, to get it done. Very helpful.
I'm gonna look at the...
Yeah, it was nice to have enough people from each of the clans in that everyone kind of knew, or there's that grouping that everyone knew what was going on and who was good at what and who was ready to take care of business where. So, yeah.
Yeah, and when and who to count on. I'm looking down. Thanks to the L2 guys who came over too. It was awesome. It's been a good couple of weeks that way. Getting to war with everybody from the family has been really pretty cool.
Yeah, and some of these guys that came over they've never been in arranged wars or, anything that tough, and so they still did what they needed to do. So that was good.
And have fun doing it. I mean,
that's right.
That was the good part. It was fun. And supportive, and you could tell everybody, was having a good time with it. Talking out attacks and it's just really, I just was really kind of like just blown away with, it did come down to a tie, but I mean, it was really impressive, logging in and seeing stuff. And any other shout outs? I'm looking down this list here.
Shout out Dark Avengers for such a good war.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Dark Avengers. It was a great war. I'll also give a shout out to Uda. I think he just got himself a hero upgrade. Also, his bowlers got upgraded to max 2, and he was able to come out and rock out a nice little 6-pack this war. So
I was just gonna say he had a 6-pack too.
Bully live, good way to roll.
Well, he was. It was just nice having those things right off the board. It was great.
Yeah, he just fresh hit 2 10s and just took them right off the board.
Where's his? I'm looking at his heroes right now. Ooh, he's like me. Oh no, never mind.
Behind?
No, I looked at the wrong place. He's probably ahead of me. Everybody is.
He's 27 queen, 30 king.
Not too. I'm not doing too shabby.
20 warden.
Yeah, having that max warden has been a real game changer. I mean,
it's adding HP to everything, so.
Yeah, and that tome, that's like bringing in an extra free spell. Except for they're doing work,
Yeah, a mobile one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, once they get going, like that, those double bombs, just, if I had to really, really pay attention, like some of those the friendly challenges that I was doing, I was hitting the tome early, and I knew with some of these bases that those bombs were going to be in really, really, anti-bowler spots. So, it's a crazy troop. Come on, Itachi, go to 11.
You can do it.
I want to see him play. SC shoutouts?
I think just the L family, Dark Avengers, were bringing a great war, and just Yeah, everyone in general. I'm good. Lots of love and happiness. Here we go. My dog is going crazy at my feet. So
I would say I have to do a shout out because I quickly checked Twitter as right before there was a comment for Sasquatch by Why So Golem at Why So Golem, and I'm not pulling it up because I'm afraid that it'll mess up the recording. But it said something like, "It was great to hear Sasquatch on the podcast. He's the reason I love this game so much." It was something to that effect.
So you've got a fanboy out there.
I've got a fanboy out there.
Yeah. So I have that written down. And welcome back to the Phantom.
Yeah.
The Phantom Warlord.
Back every now and again. Yep.
And within a couple minutes, he was over donating goblins.
Oh, yeah. He's infiltrating any random war clan that we want to
Well, that person asked for it because they came over and requested talking a little bit of schmack, and then luckily for me, I was able to 3-star that person's base, and so Phantom went and returned the favor.
We didn't get any base picks or anything, but it was pretty funny to see they were Dutch.
The war was already over, but because the other person decided to talk a little game, he decided to go and talk a little bit of the game as well.
Sasquatch, did we get
what?
Any shout-outs from you?
No, just the Dark Avengers. I think I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, I think I've covered most of my list. Of course, I've probably forgotten a bunch of things. It's been awesome being here and talking about it. And great war. I was exhausted actually afterwards. I'd take a little nap. So, well, I guess keep it clashy, everybody.
Keep it clashy.
Keep it clashy.
Keep it clashy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.